Hi everyone, so this is a video to show you how to set up the vehicle connector with your hub. First things first, get the hub set up. If you've got stone poles, definitely use them with this setup with the vehicle connector. The stone poles give the hub, it makes it a more rigid structure, which is easier for manoeuvring, and you have to manoeuvre the hub a little bit to line it up with the vehicle connector. It also helps with the vehicle connector because there's more weight sat on the hub, but it's not essential. If you don't have them, don't worry, but it is recommended. So yeah, it just makes setup that little bit easier, and we're always looking to make things easy. So once you've got your hub set up, you just put it in place slightly, just line it up with your eye a little bit. You don't want it too much in space because you need to work with getting the connector on as well. So just a little bit, touch out of the way, and then you want to move on to your vehicle connector. So what I'm going to show you is I'm going to show you a close-up of how it connects. I've set up the figure of 8 attachment here to show you how it just slides in. There's different ways of attaching it. There's the figure of 8, and there's the beading slides into that figure of 8, and there's two sizes of beading. There's a 4mm and a 6mm. That's just because some setups have a different size beading, so we've covered all setups there, all beading sizes. There's the throw-over straps, which are here, in the middle, and at that side. So you've got one at either side, one in the middle. The throw-over strap setup is more fiddly, because what you do is you haven't got that straight line of connection. You've got 3 points, so it pulls on the material in 3 different ways. It's still possible, it's still easy enough, but for a neater setup, it definitely does help to have the figure of 8, the Cador strip. People call it lots of different things. So I've set this up with, this is actually a magnetic drive-away kit. So if you haven't got the awning rail attachment, it's quite a good addition. It's about 25 quid, so it's not much, and it makes it set up a lot easier. So if you want to email me, I can give you the details on where to buy one of those. So I'll take you in now for a close-up. So this is the close-up of how the vehicle connector will connect to your van. What you've got here is you've got the figure of 8, and you've got the beading strip here, which just slides in, and then you get, so you just slide it in from one end and slide it all the way across, and then that is your vehicle connector connected to your van. If you don't have the figure of 8, you've got the throw-over straps here, which you take off, clip in, you would throw over your van and peg out at the other side, and there is 1, 2, 3 of them. The other options are the gutter rail, and people also use suction cups, the magnetic, so you get magnets and connect it to your van with the magnets. And by far and away, the easiest way to connect is the figure of 8, because basically you just put your beading strip in and slide it along, and then it's connected. So obviously you've all got different setups and different ways of connecting, and you can connect the vehicle connector to your van in multiple ways. The advised way and the best way is definitely the figure of 8 and sliding the beading strip through. But don't worry, all the other ways work really well. You've just got a little bit more to do with the setup. So now you've got your hub set up and you've got the vehicle connector connected to your van. And the next stage is to connect the connector to your hub. And what you'll see we have here is we have toggles on the vehicle connector. There is 3 toggles, and this shape replicates the shape at the top of the canopy on the hub. So what we want to do is we want to connect these toggles to the top of the hub. And what you do now is you pull the hub in towards you and line it up, and you're looking to use the center of the vehicle connector here as your focal point to line up with your hub. So I'm just going to pull the hub towards me. Now if it's been a windier day, you'll have pegged out the hub a little bit, The windier it is, the more difficult setup is. As you know, that's camping, isn't it? It's just a little bit more difficult. So you've got to take a little bit more care. Maybe get it into position, peg it out, peg the hub out in just a couple of points, pegging points, and then see where you are with the vehicle connector. And you're looking, see, I'm just too far away. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pull it in a little bit more. I'm going to start to disappear off camera now. But what I'm looking to do is I'm looking to connect this point with the center O-ring above the canopy. So if I can just see by hand, I'm just a little bit off. So I'm just going to pull it in a touch more, and that should now be just about right. So once that's in, I'm going to look to connect this side, the left side and the right side, to the O-ring just here. And I will disappear around the back now and do the other side. You're looking for the vehicle connector just to sit on top of the canopy at this stage. And then you've got it's obviously anchored to your vehicle, to your van. And now it is anchored to the hub. So now you've got the connector connected to your hub. That is the same for everybody. You know, you're just going to connect it to your van, connect it to your hub. This is more the variable stage, which you will adjust according to your setup. Because you'll all have different height vans, you might be camping on uneven ground. So I'll go through the different points that you can use to adjust the setup. There's the hook here, which should hook on to the webbing point, the webbing here, and that just brings in the connector closer to the hub. It's worth mentioning that you're not going to get this tight in like that. The connector isn't meant to be a waterproof, airtight connection point. It's meant to act more of a porch and a walkway between your van and your hub. It's not like a tent in itself like the hub is, which is watertight. So it's worth mentioning because, you know, if you're trying to get that line there really tight, it's going to affect the setup slightly. So you're just looking to get a nice line. You've got the grey edging on the connector. If you're looking to get that like nice and straight there, and then you've got at the bottom, you've got the pegging points, which are adjustable. Again, you can adjust those to get the best setup. You've got one at either side, and then you've got the wind skirt that you can peg out, and that stops the wind getting underneath and the draft. So what you do here, you can pull the door out further, you can have it in a bit, again according to the height of your van. Then if you come up to the top here, this setup, the height of it should be okay for most camper vans, but if you're wanting if you've got a taller van, slightly taller, this is 180 to 220, this connector, there's Velcro tabs there, you'd unzip this, and as you can see, it gets longer, and that just gives you the sort of setup that for a taller van. So you'd adjust that according to the height. So what I'll do now is I will, I don't know whether I've mentioned this actually, this is the grey strip that you want this lined up and pulled tight to your van. You can pull the bungee cord at the bottom, and that will scrunch it up a little bit and bring it in tight towards your van. So I'll peg this out now, and then we'll come back and I will show you the setup and what to do with the pole. So as you can see now, this has been pegged out. You've got the nice straight line coming down there, and the nice straight line coming along the bottom, which is what you're looking for to get the nicest shape. And this end would be butted up against your van. Couple of things just to mention is that this line here, you'll find because the connector is wider than the hub, comes out at an angle. So if you try and get it straight towards your van in line with the hub, you're going to get this material sagging because there's too much material there for it to take that line. What you want it to just come out and flare out from the hub. And again, that's just because the connector's wider, because it needs a space for your van doors to open. So I will now take you for a little tour inside, and I will show you the pole. So you can see now that it looks nice and neat on the side. The lines at the bottom here, you can see there that the wind skirt's neatly pegged out. That line there matches and goes up with the shape of the hub, with the hook there, the toggles connected to the O-rings, and the connector connected to your van. So I will take you through the inside and I'll show you where the pole goes. So this pole goes from the floor and extends and goes up into the roof. You have in here, in the roof, you have the pole holder there, and it just slots in the top. And then you extend it to give you the pressure into the roof, and the roof goes into like an arched shape, and that will mean that if there's any heavy rain, it will run off and run down the sides, so it won't pool on the top, because this stretch of fabric here, if left without this and it rains, then it would pool on top. So it also does, if I come back outside, what it does, if you're looking to get, you know, the connector is a little bit loose and your setup is, it can provide that extra tautness that you need in your setup. So thanks for watching. If you've got any questions, just get in touch. I can even do little videos for you to answer, so you've got a visual aid to make it nice and easy for you. I'm looking forward to seeing how you're all going to be setting up your hubs and your connectors. Make sure you send lots of pictures and join the alumni group on Facebook. Right, cheers.